So in a desert means you're alone. So as you said in your own words, initially you're confused and struggling, but then as you pay attention, because when you nothing else to pay attention to, you naturally pay attention to how you work, every muscle in your body, the breath, heartbeat, everything, then you will start noticing what you call as within or what you call as me is an entire universe, and that's the only universe you've experienced. You have not experienced any other universe. The only and only universe and the only and only world that you have experienced is what has happened within you. Once you realize this, then you fix the world the way you want it, within yourself. Outside world, we do our best.
So you think it's the outside?
I just drooled. That's incredible. Welcome back, folks, to part 2 of Sadhguru and Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
It looks like…
Am I pregnant?
I don't know, what could it…
Ask
could it
me
be?
what's in my shirt.
What's in your shirt?
It's me!
This is my little sister Mia, and she is going to be joining us for this ride of a reaction.
This is amazing. Mia, before we start, I want to say, you are not expected to say anything. You are not expected to not say anything. So you
Yes.
just do what you do, and we're here for it.
We're here for it. And if you're on Patreon, you'll be getting the full version of this, which will probably be kind of long. And if you are not on Patreon, you'll be getting a little snippet of it, but feel free to click the link in the description and join, and so you can see that. So, I mean,
I'm excited.
what else is there to say?
The first part of this conversation was so good.
I hope you liked part 1.
Oh yeah, Mia didn't hear the whole first part of this conversation, but I think it will work out.
Yeah.
It's
It'll-
just like topic to topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-oh.
what the heck? Let's do this.
Third, yes. Repeat offenders. Reciprocity, going in circles. I hear you. I've done it before. You said yoga means union. Right? Definition, yoga, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the root word of religion comes from legare and re. And legare means to bind together, and re means again, to bind together again. The prescriptive definition of religion.
Wow.
Yoga means union. Those are somewhat synonymous. Is that fair to say yoga and religion would be synonymous definitions,
Well,
or at least
In its
Same direction?
essence, it would be, but not in its present form of practice, both, I'm saying. The way yoga is practiced in America is not synonymous of union. The way religion is practiced largely
the way
across the
religion is
world.
practiced in the world is not synonymous,
Yes.
not synonymous with what real religion
So
is either.
both of
Yes.
them, in definition, maybe they are same, but unfortunately the way it is practiced is very different. But why yoga is simply because this is not based on belief system, it is based on your experience, at least you know where the hell you're going. With belief system, you just believe you're going in a certain way, which gives you a certain psychological comfort, it gives you solace. So essentially the choice is this, are you seeking solace in your life? That is, you want to just quieten your mind and be happy with little things, or are you seeking a solution for this life? Because once you have come with this human intelligence, if you don't immediately get engrossed with some petty thing around you, it is natural for every human being to think, what is all this about? Where did I come from? Where will I go? What is the process of this life? What is the meaning of this? What is the purpose of my existence here? And is my existence just a blimp that I just come and vanish, or is there something else? Essentially, what is the nature of my existence? This is a question that no human being can avoid unless somebody works on you very young and they tells you you're this, you're that, you are going to this heaven or hell or whatever. Unless somebody washes you up like this, it is very, very natural for every human being to ask these questions. And these questions are good, this confusion is good because when you realize you do not know, see, people have misunderstood and unfortunately not understood the significance of I do not know. I do not know is the most significant thing in your life, because the moment you see I do not know, the longing to know, wanting to know, seeking to know is a natural consequence. Once there is a strong seeking, knowing is not far away, because anything that you wish to know about life, you don't have to search through a microscope or a telescope, because you are life. This is life. Right now I may call this by a name, right now it may have an identity in the world, but essentially this is life and this is the only life I can experience. See, right now all these beautiful trees, I don't experience them. I only experience them the way they happen within me, the way they reflect in the firmament of my mind and how I relate to them. Whichever way, I will only experience these trees within myself. There is no way I can experience these trees out there, and that's true for everything. You cannot experience anything out there. It can only happen within you. All experience, pain and pleasure, joy and misery, agony and ecstasy can only happen within you. Every kind of experience happens within you. When you understand this, well, if you realize I do not know, and then you start looking, naturally you will understand this. Once you understand this, finding the nature of your existence and becoming the master of your destiny is a natural consequence. The problem is we kill I do not know with belief systems, ideas, philosophies, ideologies. If you keep all these things aside, I think that's what in some way you did in your desert. I don't know which desert you went to. You didn't go to Kalahari, did you?
No, I was Sahara and then West Texas.
Okay. So, so in a desert means you're alone. So as you said in your own words, initially you're confused and struggling, but then as you pay attention, because when you nothing else to pay attention to, you naturally pay attention to how you work, every muscle in your body, the breath, heartbeat, everything, then you will start noticing what you call as within or what you call as me is an entire universe, and that's the only universe you've experienced. You have not experienced any other universe. The only and only universe and the only and only world that you have experienced is what has happened within you. Once you realize this, then you fix the world the way you want it, within yourself. Outside world, we do our best.
So you think it's the outside?
I just drooled.
That's incredible. This also lines up with what we were all talking about earlier with your perception, and if you can recognize that everything, you've only had your experience. You can never have another person's experience in this life. How much do we project onto other people what we think their experience is?
And then we
Yeah.
we just stir about that and make
Yeah.
ourselves miserable.
Yeah.
With what we think their perception of us is, and it's
It's just so silly.
yeah.
Goodness. Two things.
Two things.
There are a lot of things, but I need this. The first thing is that one of our friends, Mitch and I, yesterday were in just a very kind of flow consciousy state, and we would just be laughing or fully being whatever we were at that time.
Yeah.
Not dependent at all on what other people were
Yes.
thinking.
It was incredible.
Definitely.
But then when somebody says something serious to you, or you're having a nice moment with that person, and then you burst out in joyous laughter,
Yeah.
they all the time. Like, this just happened again and again and again and again for
Yeah.
both of us all night.
Yeah.
That they will be like, what are you laughing at? And like,
Yeah.
kind of like close down, get a
Tense
little like
up.
tense,
Yeah.
anxious,
Constricted.
and it's just so clear that they are perceiving our laughter as somehow judging them.
Yeah, or that like we need to be laughing about something. So obviously we either laughed at something they said, but if they didn't say something funny, then we're laughing at them. And that's like
Even though
their
neither of those are
conclusion.
real.
Neither of those are like even close.
And both of those things are fully based on their perception.
yes.
And what that did for me was bring me back in time to all of the times when we were talking about this morning too, where Mitch was like, yeah, you would almost think that then we should just seek out the people who we can laugh around and just joyously laugh, and there won't be any sort of tension there.
yeah.
But then I realized, like, who can you do that with? Because I feel like we are very close in a lot of those things.
Yeah.
I'll hear Mitch laugh that way sometimes and get mad at him. I'll be like, you have no right to be laughing right now.
Yeah.
That's stupid. And it's just because in my perception, I am judging myself and his laughter
Yes.
in a way that's like, I'm tense, I'm closed. And it's just...
And so
silly.
where that gets you to is you just can't care. You can't care about the other person's perception, because the best thing you can do for them is be that thing. If that's a laugh when they're trying to bring the conversation to a very serious place, then that's a laugh.
Say the Maharaji thing that you said earlier.
The Maharaji thing that I said earlier.
How he would teach.
Oh, yes. This came to me yesterday. I was thinking about the difference between my perception a lot of times that the best thing that I can do is make people feel loved and accepted through making them feel comfortable. But you hear stories about teachers like Neem Karoli Baba or Maharaji, who was Ram Dass's guru, a lot of other people's guru. And there are so many stories about Maharaji taking people and sending them to an edge in themselves. And he would not be caring about what their perception is. He is just totally being free-flowing, and he'd send people to the point where they're like, this guy's crazy, and then they'd get worked up, angry, to a point where it would reach a breaking point, and then boom, it just all falls apart all at once. And that's how he would do it. And a lot of that was through things like Ram Dass says, he was like, I would always talk about these serious topics, and all I would get in response from Maharaji is like a giggle. Like world hunger. Ram Dass is like stressed about world hunger. He'd just get a giggle. And he was like, and the thing that remains for me is the giggle, not anything else. Yeah.
Because once you are so worked up about all those things, eventually you understand that you are the thing working yourself up.
Yeah.
And that there is no way out when you are getting faced with someone who just is like, yes, it's you. Yes,
Right.
it's you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's your perception.
Right.
And he just constantly puts them in that space.
yes.
But it also hit me yesterday, point number 2, that the I don't know thing,
Yeah.
how beautiful it is that Sadhguru says that is the most important thing, because I was reflecting on like politics, our way of life, our medical system, our interactions with one another, all of them. We are so frequently trying to say, I know, and I am certain that I know, and therefore we are going to do it this way. And right when you start doing that, you lock out all other possibilities. All of a sudden you have a medical system that's focused on, this belief that people don't want to put in effort to heal themselves, so they need a pharmaceutical to heal themselves. And it's like, then you train all of the upcoming doctors like that, and you tell them, yes, pharmaceuticals are the way to help people, not inspiring them to really take responsibility over their whole life. And that just gets locked in as we know that pharmaceuticals are the way. And it's like, you're stuck, you're closed. And the only way to open is to admit that you don't know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then, like, they don't encourage people to make their own, like, new ideas. They're just, like, back to what you were saying about, like, the past. Like, you're just, like, taking memories and past ideas and thinking they're gonna work for the future for people you have not met yet. It's like...
And for situations we've never been in before. Like,
Exactly.
the world is in a completely different state than it was yesterday. Not to mention 30 years ago, whenever pharmaceuticals like blew up, you know, just as that example. But
Yeah.
it's with everything. It's with our technologies. It's with our way of life, our food systems.
Yes.
I'd saying, because I've gone through that. Well, man, I felt like I had to be in the know. Only recently have I shaken hands with the fact, no, I love to be in the know. I also want to be in the know of what I don't know. And like, I want to know what I don't know and know that I do not know. And saying, oh, that's a good thing, Matthew, was what I'll tell myself. So, but is it, do we not give ourselves enough credit to, or is the I don't know is like a blind spot? It's like, whoa, I don't know.
No,
what's
no,
all
I
right.
know is a blind spot. Let me clear this. I know is a blind spot. See, right now, let's say you're driving. A truck was coming behind you and you saw it in the mirror. So do you see what is behind the truck? So you know there is a truck coming, but that's a blind spot, it blocks everything else. So right now you think, I know, that's like a blot in your brain, it doesn't allow you to see anything else. If you see I do not know is not about things around you. Fundamentally, see, you and me are sitting here talking long distance. We're sitting on a round planet, the damn thing is spinning all the time and also hurtling through the space at tremendous speed. In the middle of nowhere, nobody knows where this cosmos begins, where it ends. In the middle of nowhere, a tiny little mechanism called solar system. In that tiny little, super tiny place called planet Earth, in that Texas is a micro super space, in that Austin City is a super micro space. In that you're a big man. This is the problem. Because the moment I think I know, I become big in my perception. Once I become big, inevitably I'll make a fool of myself. Whether I realize this in this life or not, somebody who has eyes to see will see this is a bloody fool.
Yes, love it. I know is a blind spot. Heard. But we tell ourselves, the world tells us the opposite. That no, to do, you know, the self-assurance, the confidence, even if it's a false confidence, will get you, you know, more of what you want. We reward that in life, in this life, in the mortal life. We reward that with money, with jobs, with even blue ribbons and gold medals sometimes. Is it an act of courage to lean into the I don't know? Is it to seek what you don't know? Is it a courageous act, or is that too much of a come from a belief system? I'm just trying to make it tangible because
Yes.
in this, you know,
I do find immense value in a conversation like this, which was the same with the Logan Paul episode that was like a really long time ago. That would be fun to rewatch at some point.
Yeah.
But because Matthew McConaughey is coming from the culture that we grew up in, and you hear him speak in a way that you would potentially be speaking to someone like Sadhguru,
Yeah.
you know? So then you hear that tension, that desire, And it's like, us watching that, we can kind of be like, oh, that's kind of funny the way that he's like reflecting on that and like really just saying the same thing differently. But if we were there, we would probably be speaking very similarly. So it's really amazing for me. I just wanted to say that. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but that's why I find a conversation like this so valuable.
Yes. Definitely.
Right now, do I know you are Matthew? I wouldn't dare try the second name.
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Rhymes with what would Madonna say?
So, so I know you're Matthew McConaughey, but do I know you? I don't know. I know you because when I see a person, I know many things that I know, I need to know to interact, to be with them and everything. But do you know some life absolutely? You do not know. So with the I do not know does not mean you are ignorant. I do not know simply means that maybe right now I'm seeing the surface, I'm always willing to look deeper and deeper and deeper. But the moment I say, oh, I know what's Matthew, he's a file in my mind, it's finished. So, I do not know does not mean that it's ignorance. See, we must understand this. See, however much knowledge you have, even if you have digested the libraries on this planet, still what you know in this cosmic space is a minuscule. But our ignorance is boundless. So the whole yogic system always identifies with ignorance. Because if I identify with my ignorance, then whether I am awake or asleep, my intelligence is always on, it never sleeps. The moment I say I know, my intelligence goes to sleep, it gets lazy. This is essentially determining what is the quality of your life. So do not ever let your intelligence go to sleep by saying, I know something. Do you know a blade of grass? I'm asking all the top scientists on the planet. Do we really know a blade of grass? Absolutely. We do not know. As you look deeper and deeper and deeper into it, there's more and more and more to it. See, the top scientists in the world have openly saying, we not only do not know, we will never know. All right? So this is does it mean these people are ignorant people? No, they may have more knowledge than most people on the planet, but they are saying this because they have looked deep enough into life. And if you look deep enough into life, you will naturally see what you know is a minuscule, what you do not know is an endless possibility. So do you want to take away the boundless possibility because you know a spot?
I don't know is not ignorance, it's an endless possibility.
Ignorance is a boundless thing, knowledge is a very limited thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just gotta take some breaths real quick.
Yeah.
Fun. Fun. That's what it sounds like, fun. The adventure.
Adventure. He's just saying
words.
No idea what to say.
Mind is mush.
Yes,
His mind is turning to mush.
Fun, adventure.
Yeah.
Like what?
That's
You
what
can
it
just
is,
see
though.
him like, he's an ice cream cone and he's just turning into a puddle. I love it.
Can you open up your definition of expansion? What most people would say would be your teaching, you call it technology. I like that clicks with me too. But can you open up to talk about your definition of expansion for us? Everything, right?
See, before that, what you referred to as technology, why this is technology is, see, if I give you a belief system, you may believe it, you may not believe it. If I give you a teaching, you may like it, you may not like it. If you give a philosophy, you may agree with it, you may not agree with it. Now I give you a technology. All you have to do is learn to use it. Whoever learns to use it, for them it'll work, it's as simple as that. So, it doesn't matter. Right now, some people were complaining when that ISIS war was going on in Syria and Iraq. In America, some people that I know were complaining, can you believe it, they're using our iPhones and doing all these attacks. I said, this is technology. Whoever learns to use it, it'll work. You don't have to say any of your religious slogans to make it work. You learn to use it, it works. So this is… yoga is a technology, you just learn to use it. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, what you don't believe, all this doesn't matter. You just learn to use it, it will work. So what is expansion? See, word yoga means this. Well, you already came to a little verbal meaning of that, which simply means union, or actually that other definition you said, I'm sorry, I'm neither Latin nor Greek. So you said
Religion.
something about yoking, all right?
Bind together again.
To bind together. The word yoga literally, if you go back to its original meaning, it means to yoke. You yoke together. See, right now what yoking means is, see, when you sit here, you are an individual person. This is why I said the greatest magnanimity of creation is, it gave us an individual experience. There are swarms of insects here. For them, they don't have an individual experience, they experience themselves as a swarm, as a species. But we experience ourselves as an individual. Unfortunately, instead of enjoying this privilege, we have made this into a point of conflict between each other all the time, me versus you. But this is the greatest privilege that we can sit here. I want you to just imagine, suppose you looked at you or me from, let's say, Galaxy Z. What are we? Even through a telescope or a microscope, we are not visible. It doesn't matter what they have, we are not visible. We're such a tiny speck of dust, literally. But we have an individual experience, it's not a small thing. We can look at the universe and wonder what this is all about. This is not a small thing. So this individual experience or the sense of being an individual, when you take it too seriously, then you get lost. Then you have to yoke with the creation. You have to become one with it. Only then you know life, otherwise you are misunderstanding your psychological world as existential. Right now, this is all the problem with human beings. Somewhere nature trusted that if we give you so much intelligence, you will make the best out of it. Tell me, Matthew, in your experience or in anybody's experience, does intelligence spell solutions or problems? Intelligence means solutions, isn't it? Unfortunately, today it's human intelligence which is causing all the problems, simply because we are too stuck with our individuality. We don't understand this is just a privilege. Tomorrow morning if they bury us in the land, we will become one with everything, all right? All this countless number of peoples who walked this planet and they also thought they're great people, where are they? All topsoil right now. You and me also will be topsoil unless some friends choose to bury you real deep, thinking you may raise from the dead,
This was striking to me that I was sitting like away from the gathering last night and feeling a lot of stuff, but one of the things I felt was the enormity of power and like ability that sits in this being. But then the first thought that came to mind was how scary it is that I could just die. Like that all of this immensity that sits within all of us could just be hit by a car, splattered.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at the trees and realized that every single leaf that falls to the ground has that same immensity in it and then just decomposes and is gone. And it's like this immensity that sits within all of us is just gonna return to it all. And even if we died tomorrow and all of the potential in every single one of us was ruined, literally split in half, it would never disappear because it's just going into everything else.
Did that reach your ears? It's back. It never left.
Fearing rather. So I'm saying we are anyway part of this. Without taking a breath, we cannot live. Without food, water, we cannot live. Without constant interaction, we cannot live. But we are acting like concrete block individuals. We are absolutely individual. Yoga means you obliterate the boundary of your individuality so that you experience your universality. Once you experience your universality, if I experience everything around me here, everybody around me here as a part of myself, after that, do I need any morality? Does somebody has to tell me, don't drop them, don't kill them, don't do this, don't do that? Once I've experienced something as a part of myself, with that I have no conflict. This is yoga. See, right now…
Story.
Let's hear it.
Another from last night.
Yeah, last night was a huge
Yeah.
teaching experience.
Yes. Yeah, no, last night was… I was telling these guys this morning, made that whole perception thing clear about how much perception matters, but that literally everything you see is a teaching. Mm-hmm. Everything you perceive is a teaching if you're open to it. Mm-hmm. But this, when it comes to the ethics thing, we're sitting on the porch, one of our close friends and I, and a big mosquito, little flying insect, big little, like this big or something, lands on the porch and someone's coming out of the door. So my friend goes and covers it with her hand because she doesn't want it to get stomped on. And the person coming out of the door stops because he saw the mosquito. He stops and he's like pretty drunk, and he's just like looking at her hand and the way she's covering it, and she's like, okay, he's just gonna move along, takes her hand away, and then he just stomps on it. And we both just look at him, and I was like, that was a life. And he like immediately, the first thing was he just goes like, I'm not gonna say what he was feeling on the inside. This is what happened on the outside.
Yes.
He just like looks confused, looks like angry in a way. Is just like, what? Like, it's not a life, it's an insect. But then he like, after he stomps on it, we just kind of like start laughing because we're like, that was so dumb, like there was no reason to do that. Yeah. But then he starts looking at the bottom of his shoe and the mosquito is stuck to it. And then he ends up like stumbling around, spending like 5 minutes trying to peel this mosquito off of his shoe because it's just stuck there. And it just made me, and then he sits down and apologizes to us because he just like felt guilty for whatever, taking a life now. But it was just the fact that this guy steps on a life form that he didn't perceive as a life form, and then just has it stuck to his shoe.
There's cosmic humor in that.
And then he needs to try to peel it off. And is like getting frustrated because of it. And it was like, Holy.
Yeah. Creation's giggling at that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
So this is a time, I'm saying, particularly in India right now, last 2 weeks have been grim, all right? It's been a very grim situation out there and still going in that direction. Well, now lockdowns, curfews, all coming, maybe it'll turn back a little bit, but we need to understand this, that we have come to a time where there are many, not mainstream scientists, there are many, other kinds of scientists who look at various things. They need not be 100% wrong or 100% right. They're talking about how this has all happened because of the biological push we have done on other creatures, whatever. This is a script for a Hollywood movie, that how we pushed the biology and how all the virus sat together and planned and got at us. I'm saying not that, but I'm just saying, essentially, we have reached a point. Different generations have reached different kinds of situations, but we have come to a place, our fortune is right now, this virus, the carrier, the sole carrier is human being. Earlier, we've had this kind of pandemics or epidemics where carriers were mice, birds, mosquitoes, other kinds of things, we couldn't stop them. What we were thinking of in our mind at that time is how to completely eliminate all the mice on the planet, how to get rid of the mosquitoes, absolutely, genocide. We were planning genocides on them. But right now it is us, we are the carriers. You can see this as a great blessing and a great curse. If you would see it as a blessing if you are a conscious human being. Because if all of us across the world, I know this is right now an utopian thing, if all of us had the sense to 14 days, just be with 2-3 people that we are and not meet anybody for 14 days, the pandemic is largely over, all right? But we won't do that. We need a haircut, we need to go to the pub, we need to do this, somebody needs to go to the temple, somebody needs to go to the bar. Everybody has all this because we are such compulsive creatures right now. The significance of being human is, there's nothing big about us except that we can conduct the same things that the animals do consciously. We eat, we sleep, we copulate, we die, all right? The question is, if we do it consciously, it looks human. If you do it compulsively, it looks animalistic. So right now, this is the time for us to exhibit how conscious we are. As a generation of people, what sort of people are we?
How about this?
Yes.
We were talking earlier about how spiritual teachers will often, or like a Maharaji, will teach by showing the person, bringing the person to an edge within themselves. They don't even bring them there. The person brings themselves to that edge.
Exactly.
And it is that makes them understand that it is an internal experience. How about the fact that this disease is only happening within humans, pushing us as a total to an edge where we cannot put the blame on anything else.
Though we may try. Yes.
And that's where he's saying, like, a conscious being right now sees that and goes, this is what we need.
Yeah. Thank you for your teachings.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, this sucks.
Yes.
Very good.
Simple commitment, I will make sure I am not infected. But if it so happens I'm infected, I will ensure it will not go to one more person. This much commitment, if we take, it's over.
It's a small, short-term inconvenience for long-term freedom.
That's the thing, where the Western idea, what we were talking about earlier, where he's saying things as like a big statement. He's like, this is a short-term inconvenience for a long-term freedom.
Answer.
Inspiring, it's there. Sadhguru's like, you do what you need to do.
Yes.
That's like
that's
open-ended.
it. And that's how it's been this whole conversation. it's just like something to notice, you know? No need to put like a certain judgment on it. It's just something to notice. Yeah. That's really good. That's juicy.
And also, we are too committed to our lifestyles. We are not committed to our life. We think our lifestyles is life. No, lifestyles is a consequence of time, in the times we are in which we are living. Life is the real thing. So right now, focus on life, that this life should not be put to risk, no other life should be put to risk. Lifestyle doesn't matter, you can make your lifestyle differently, what is the big deal? Yeah, I'm driving and sleeping in a truck, so I've changed my lifestyle completely.
I hear you. Oh, I hear you. Great talking to you.
Thank you, Matthew.
Today. I look forward
Wonderful.
to our next time.
Yeah, hope to catch
thank you
up
for the
somewhere.
wisdom, the laughter and all. I hope you have a great road trip and keep enjoying yourself out there, getting off road, and we'll talk to you next time wherever
Yep.
you are. or
I'm
in
person. Texas, keep the cowboys off me, huh?
Oh, come on, you'll fit right in here. Come on in. Howdy. It's about 974 miles east to west. Come on through, man. Stop wherever you want. Hospitable state. We'd love to have you. Let me know when you come.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
man.
Appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
All right. I gotta say this. This is a struggle in me right now.
Mm-hmm.
How can I experience things with other people in a way that I don't feel uncomfortable by the way that they're presenting a thing? Like, I was struggling not to feel uncomfortable with the way that Matthew McConaughey was trying to sum up that whole conversation. And like the excitement and the like the weird empty sort of things like, come to Texas, we'll be hospitable to you. Come to Texas, tell me when you're coming through. Like, it's just like an odd, like, empty phrase where it's just like there was nothing behind it, at least from my perception. And then this just like hurdles back to last night as well, feeling like people are trying to make the situation comfortable. Like, that's what you're gonna encounter. Like, a lot of the times I'm trying to make the situation comfortable. But if I'm in a state where I am able to not make the situation uncomfortable, how can there be no resistance in me to them trying to make the situation comfortable and it being really herky-jerky and forced feeling? How can I not feel that within myself? That's a tough one.
I don't know. Figure it out. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed. Thank you all who are on Patreon. Thank you all who are not on Patreon. We love all of you and appreciate you so deeply. Just like we love Mia and appreciate her so deeply.
Thank you for joining
A
us.
round of
Thank you,
applause.
guys.
Very good. Let's make you comfortable right now and make All right, folks. Until next time.
Much love.
Much love.